He's no stranger to the show here on SevereMMA.com and Talking Brawls. And he goes up against Ireland's own Neil Seery at UFC Fight Night, November 19th in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And that is Ian, Uncle Creepy McCall. First of Ian, I know it's only early in the morning for you. How are you, my friend? How's all with you?
I'm great, man. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's 10:43 where I'm at, and that's morning for me. I'm not a morning person. Um, like I was telling you, myself and my whole family, we sleep in. Like we all need to recover.
You
You
got,
know, we all need to sleep. So this is the beginning of the day for us.
you're going up against, obviously, Neil Seery in Belfast. It's been announced. But I want to, first of all, get the timeline on the events when you found out about the fight. I know on the morning of obviously Ray Borg falling out of the fight in Cleveland. I was over there in Cleveland that you mentioned Neil. You've mentioned Neil to me a lot on the show in the past.
Yeah.
Was the fight, the word on the ground sort of over in Cleveland, I was on a few of the guys, I was talking with my fellow colleagues, and the word sort of was that the fight was more or less even done before you left Cleveland, that you were going to be fighting Neil Seery at some point.
Yeah, they like the idea, and I know Zach Makovsky was like, "Hey, what about me? Don't forget about me, guys. Don't forget about me." Um, but no one cares, Like Zach, and nothing against Zach. Zach is in an extremely tough fight, um, and no one knows who he is. He's not the most exciting fighter. No one knows who he is, so it's just kind of one of those things, man. He needs to find a way to go out there and market himself a little better, or at least get his name out there more, because he's a really tough fight. And I think I kind of cut in line. I think I kind of took his spot to fight Neil, but whatever. That's not my fault. It's not my problem.
Neil has announced, obviously, he announced with us here in Severe Men, actually with Peter Carroll, my colleague here for News Talk. He announced that he's going to be retiring after the fight. I know you've a lot of mutual respect with Neil. You've talked about potentially fighting before. Obviously, for you, it must be a big, big honor that Neil wants to go out on his last fight and fight Uncle Creepy Ian McCall.
Yeah, I mean that's a tall order to want to fight me. And I'm not talking myself up, but I don't suck. Um, but yeah, to much respect to Neil, because this is his last fight. Shh, shh. Sorry, my daughter's being loud, annoying. Rah. Go outside, child. Don't throw anything at me. I love you.
There you go.
Uh, but Neil's a stud, and that just shows you, like, this is his last fight ever. This is his retirement fight, and he's wants to fight me. Like that's cool. I like that. And we have talked about fighting in the past multiple times, and agreed to it. He I'm not going to call him my friend, because I don't know him that well, but I genuinely like Neil. He's a great guy. Like I really like him, and I'm stoked that I get to fight him, and I get to fight him before he's done.
Yeah, that was always something you obviously wanted to do because Neil mentioned today in an interview he did with the boys here on the website that it's something that you've talked about since you fought Brad Pickett here in Dublin. Obviously, Neil was on that card as well. Um, so it's always something you've had your eye on.
Yeah, like I said, we've been talking about it for a while, and it's kind of come to fruition.
Why is it you want to fight Neil? Is it because he goes in there, leaves it all there, and obviously you've had the two pullouts as well? Is it more or less that you're going to get a good, tough fight against Neil?
Oh, of course, I know he's going to show up, and I know he's going to be a tough guy, and I know that he's a stud. This is the troublemaker right here.
Hi, London. How are you?
Hi. It's my little girl. Yeah. Lindy. Yes, your name's London. Her daddy's doing an interview, so I'll go outside. I'll be out in a little bit. Um, but Yeah, I'm stoked to be able to fight Neil. And I think that it's an honor to send him on his way into retirement. And I don't mean that in I mean that to just be the guy that finally lets him go. Um, of course, do I think I'm going to win? Of course I do. Uh, and I as much as I don't want to play into his strengths, like his punching power,
Yeah.
because he hits a truck. Um, I'm dumb enough to like, okay, it's your final fight. Let's throw down. So maybe who knows how this is gonna go.
Ian, I want to ask you. Obviously, Cleveland. It was tough, man. And I was over in Cleveland. I was very disappointed myself when I found out that the fight was all for you, and obviously
Yeah.
for the fans as well, everyone who wanted to see the fight. Um, how have you felt? How this is this a little bit risky going against Neil Seery? 3 back-to-back fight camps effectively, and you still haven't fought. How's the body? Are you feeling tired, or are you feeling lethargic?
No, I took the last 2 weeks off. My coaches just said, "Hey, you're taking 2 weeks off. Like this is like no matter what, you're taking 2 weeks off, and that's the end of it." And I did, and I'm bored. God, I'm bored. I've been doing a little bit of yoga. I've been doing my thing, but the main part, the main thing I've been doing is hanging out with my kid.
Yeah,
She is the world to me. Like she is everything, and like most parents, or like most, some parents are shitty and don't care about their kids. But um, I, I've gone out of my way to make sure that in these 2 weeks, I'm the one that's taking her to school. I'm the one that's trying to pick her up from school. I'm the one that's taking her to dance class or taking her to gymnastics or swimming or whatever it is she wants to do. Um,
that's
because I want to see that stuff. I don't get to see that stuff during camp, and that's been the last, how many months? 4 months, 5 months where I've been in camp, where I've been absent, and it's tough. But my daughter understands as much as she can that daddy has a job, daddy's getting ready for a fight, like daddy has to train. Um, but yeah, it's been nice just to relax and get fat and be happy with my daughter and my girlfriend, and I'm looking to buy a house and just be a normal lazy human being.
Did the UFC and did you obviously you got your show money? Did you get your win money? Your win money? Did you get bonus money like you did the last time?
No, they gave me was my show money,
Okay.
which it would have been cool if I would have got all three again. But I wasn't expecting it because there wasn't any other flyweight fights on the card.
Mm.
There, I didn't have to make weight, so it just it is what it is. I'm being paid to be really really in shape.
That's it. You should change profession. No.
Yeah. Now I get why all those fitness douchebags are really into it. I don't know if they make money, but they're all ripped. They have all those pretty beach muscles, those pointless beach muscles for a reason, I guess. So maybe they're getting paid. Maybe I'm doing the wrong job.
Ian, I've spoken to you over the last 5 years. Since you made your debut, even before you made your debut in the UFC, and in the past you're a little bit bitter, and we've talked about this before. How tough has that been for you to keep everything in check? You could obviously hold resentment towards the guys that miss weight there, but you seem very relaxed and you seem very, you know, shit happens in life, sort of perspective on what has happened in the last months. How's the mindset as well? Is that all good at the moment with these two guys pulling out? Uh,
Oh yeah, that's I don't care. It's the farthest thing from my mind. That it's life. Stuff happens, whether it was all their doing, whether they wanted to miss weight and they didn't want to fight, or
well, do
whatever,
you think that
whatever thing. What was that?
you think that was it? That they didn't want to fight you?
No, no, no. I don't know. I'm just saying, just for instance,
Technically, yeah.
uh, if they didn't want to fight, then whatever. If Ray did get sick, which from what I understand, he was legitimately sick, like
Too
was
good.
in the hospital. Um, it like the me spending time thinking about it is just a waste of energy. I'm stoked to get to do what I do. The only issue that kind of bums me out is I'm going to be almost a year older. I've lost almost a year of my life because of this stuff
Yeah.
to where I should have been fighting.
Yeah.
So that sucks because I'm 32, so I'm not young. But what can you do? I guess.
You had a good time in Cleveland anyway. How did you enjoy the city? I have to ask you that.
Well, I had a lot of fun. We, it happened. I was told what happened at about 1:30 in the morning, and I was like, okay, like sure, like
You're taking the
you
piss.
know, yeah, like, okay, you're fucking with me right now. So I walk over and I grab my nutritionist and chef has one of those vape pens, the marijuana pens,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay. I held it up and I'm like, my age, and I'm like, prove it. I go, like, going to put it to my mouth. I go, tell me you're lying. Tell me I'm gonna smoke it. I'm gonna get in trouble. And I was like, I'm like, you're serious. I'm like, okay, well, I want pizza and I want beer. So
Sweet.
then we had pizza and beer, and I felt like shit all night. I couldn't sleep. I ate so much food. Um, but and then we went around town and caused trouble and had fun, and got bottle service and did all the douchey fun club stuff, I mean, Cleveland. Cleveland did me right. I had a lot of fun there. I got to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I got to go to the NFL Hall of Fame. So it was a good time, and I never thought I would be stoked. So I'm letting my dog out. I never thought I would be that stoked to be at Cleveland, and that changed my view on Cleveland. That's for sure.
Yeah, you need to blow off a bit of steam. It's pretty important as well after things like that happen to you.
Yeah, with me, I need to go out. I need to have fun. I need to get wild. Um, you know, I guess I got really drunk and talked a bunch of shit to Louis Gaudino.
I saw Lewis floating around there on fight. Who was he? Who was he there with?
I have no idea.
Beyonce, maybe. I'm not too sure, but yeah, Lewis was there anyway. But what do you think the hotel, the whole situation, the elevator as well? Jesus, man.
That hotel, I still haven't called because I bought an extra room
Yeah,
for the week, and I need to get a refund for that because that place sucks.
yeah, it did suck.
It's horrible. The rooms suck. The service sucked. And Wyndham's are usually nice.
Yeah,
Wyndham's usually a nice hotel. Um, the fucking elevator almost kills everybody. Like, imagine it. Imagine if that would have fallen a few more floors and people would have gotten like
yeah,
hurt or died.
mm, big time, man.
You know, that's like, what the hell? It's crazy. And to think that that was so close to happening. It's wild. I feel real bad for CB. I hope CB Dalway's doing better.
Basically, who anyone doesn't know about that, basically, the elevator. I spoke to Yancey in the post-fight press conference scrums. You can listen to it there. But basically, um, the hotel elevator broke from the third floor down to the basement with a lot of the fighters in it. Crazy stuff. Pretty
It actually hit the floor, right?
hit the floor from the third. It just broke off because the morning I was there, and the weigh-ins there was actually a problem with as well. Two guys got stuck in it, and apparently
Yeah.
found out it hadn't been serviced within 6 years or something like that. So it was pretty bloody crazy altogether. But listen to me, you're going to be fighting in Belfast. You fought in Dublin before. It's very different from Dublin, obviously, on the same island. But are you ready for that hostile atmosphere? I know you've a lot of Irish fans here. You got a great reception the last time you fought Brad Pickett, but I don't think it's to be quite the same this time with Neil being his last fight.
Yeah, that's fine. The thing is I have nothing but respect for Neil. And he's not much of a trash talker. I'm sure the fans will hate me for that brief moment in time, but you know what? They should. He is one of your guys's fighters. He you know, and like, and this is his final hurrah. You guys should fervently be cheering for him and be booing and you know, like, you should hate the person that your countryman is fighting.
Yeah.
That's how it should be,
Mm.
and I love it. Like, I mean,
I
I
think
don't see a problem with it.
that to me before. It's one thing you like the American fans to do is get behind the fans like the Irish fans get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wish the U.S. fans could take a page out of the Irish playbook, because you guys are the best fans on the planet. I mean, it's hands down the best. I mean, the Brazilians are close. Are they're kind of close, but dealing with Brazilians is like dealing with cavemen. You know, like, they're like on a lower rung of mental capacity. It seems like, um,
Yeah, that
and
with Matt Brown
you know,
in Brazil when the guy the fan hit him and stuff was pretty crazy.
yeah, it's like, I don't know. Theirs just seems too crazy. It seems like to a point where you're like, okay, this is stupid. You know, where you guys are just, you're chanting, you're happy, you're drunk, you're just cheering for your guy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how it should be. It's sports, you know. But
It's something you're relishing anyway, stepping in in that environment.
yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that fever pitch, that energy is really amazing,
And
and I'm excited to fight
I
there.
think it's going to be effectively the people's main event this fight because
Yeah.
that hype even since the fight's been announced. It's a fight I've looked forward to for years. We've talked about it potentially happening for a number of years as well. It's finally going to happen. It's going to be Neil's last fight. There's a lot of people going to be coming from Dublin for the fight. As far as I'm concerned, and the coverage that has been around the news that Neil is retiring, it's going to be off the charts. So, Ian, a couple more things before I let you go, mate. Is it fair to say, and I don't mean to insult you, we're not really sure what we're going to see from you either because you haven't been in the octagon in so long. It's going to be nearly 2 years. You've had the injuries. Um, what are you expecting from yourself? Are we going to see the full flowing Ian McCall that we're used to seeing in the past?
Of course. You'll see a much more complete version of me than you've ever seen. I know how to fight. You know, my style doesn't change.
Is your mind that you about the injuries and about the time out effectively that you
No, the ring rust won't affect me. I perform well under high stress situations. That's just how I do my best. As far as the injuries go, sure, my right arm doesn't work so well.
yeah
You know, but I can still knock people out with it. I've done it before. But yeah, it's nothing's gonna change. You're gonna see me do exactly what I always do and slip move, a lot of footwork, a lot of kicking, all that kind of stuff. And with Neil, I have to respect his punching power because he does punch really hard. So if I was smart, I would take Neil down and I would submit him as fast as possible, and then go on with my day.
is that what you're going to do and be smart? Going to try and do and be smart?
Well, yeah, that would be the best plan, is to just take him down and submit him. I am 10th planet jiu-jitsu now, so I can do some funky twister or calf slicer or something cool, and then
Have you been working?
go get
Yeah.
go get some pints.
Have you been
Go
with Eddie long? At 10 Planet?
I've known Eddie for a long time, but no, my coaches are Casey Halstead and Ron Turner.
Cool, cool, excellent. And how do you feel that, just before we let you go, um, a lot of people, Tony Ferguson is a 10 Planet guy as well. And I've spoken to Tony in the past, and he tells me that it's, the best form of mixed martial art, jiu-jitsu for mixed martial arts. Would you be along the same lines?
Well, yeah, I like it. It's with me, I've been so immersed in
Yeah,
with Brazilians, jujitsu wise, and it's nice to have this kind of funk. I have this because when I wrestled. there's this thing called funk you have, and you can obviously get what it is. I have a real funky style of wrestling, and I hit a lot of flashy moves, and this just kind of segues into the same way in jiu-jitsu. You know, I like hitting these flashy moves, and I'm excited to show it off. You know, I mean, even if I don't go to the ground with Neil, which I will, surprise. Um, you know, I still think I can beat him on the feet. You know, I really want to show off my jiu-jitsu because I've never had the chance to show how good I really am.
What do you think of Neil's ground game? You know, he pulled off a beautiful submission against John Dallas Reyes in here in Dublin last year. Are you aware of his ground game?
Oh yeah, he's got he has that he has the guillotine. I do believe it's on the left side, and that's about it. I mean, he doesn't have bad jiu-jitsu. You know, it doesn't suck, but at the same time, my friend Lewis Smolka
Yeah, I know.
uh, had his way with him on the ground. So and you know, ask Lewis what I do to him on the ground.
There you go.
uh, you know, so it's just one of those things. You know, a fight's a fight. Things change when you fight. You know, jiu-jitsu black belt turns into blue belt real quick. And you know, blue belt turns into a black belt real quick because you're punching each other. It's just, it's a lot different. But I'm very excited to show my proficiency on the ground.
Can't wait for it. Ian, just a couple of more things. I've said that about 10 times now, but I mean it this time. We always have long interviews. But how's everything going? Dash Radio. Where can the guys listen to you? I know you've obviously the podcast as well. Where can the guys check out all your beautiful and brilliant broadcasting work? Should I say? It's very good. I enjoy it.
Thank you. We have, well, the Lineup Media Group is a company that kind of I'm working under. It's called lineupmedia.fm. They have tons of podcasts. And they have my podcast. They also have the Dash Radio show. So what happens is my show airs on Dash every Wednesday on the Hot Button channel. From it's digital radio from 5 to 7 on the Hot Button channel every Wednesday, and then after that they'll replay it. I'm not really sure the system how it all works, but then I'll be on Lineup Radio,
Yeah.
and you know that's we're getting a lot of views, and it's you know a lot of people are hearing. I mean, we have people from porn stars like Jesse Jane to American football players like Sean Merriman, pro surfers like Sonny Garcia, and race truck drivers, singers, and my buddy Jared from the Dirty Heads. He's a singer for the Dirty Heads. He was on this week. So a whole crazy plethora of different kind of talented people
Oh.
that just so happen to be friends with me and my co-host. So it's it's cool, and I really enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun.
Fox Sports on the horizon soon. Would you like to do some analysis work at some stage?
I I would love a desk job with Fox or ESPN or UFC or whoever would hire me. Um, I can tone down the four-letter words, okay, for national broadcasting. I don't have to say fuck and shit and cock and all that stuff. I just like saying it. You know, get me a few nice suits, and we're good. You know, I'm way smarter than most all the analysts on there, anyways, and
Talked
I'm
about
a better fighter.
We've talked about this before as well. They've no Irish voice on Fox Sports. You know, every other sport in America has an Irish voice. For fuck's sake, guys, give me a go. Myself and Ian. Why not?
Yeah,
These interviews
let's do
always get on well. Have a good L chat.
it. Well, I think that it's in the making. I think that you know the sport as a whole and the UFC is seeing how well I can talk
Or
and how much I enjoy doing it and how much people enjoy listening to me. So I think that it's only a matter of time before I actually have a desk job,
that'd be
and I'm I would love to do it now. You know, I would much rather wait to I'd much rather do it now than have to wait till I retire to actually have the desk job. I mean, everyone else has the desk job and they still fight.
you mentioned retirement word, and I think we'll wrap it up on that. Before we let you go, you've talked to me about the retirement word before. Um, Is there any guarantees? Could we have two guys potentially retiring after this fight?
I mean, me? No.
I don't.
Um,
You've mentioned.
no, I've thought about it. Not specifically for this fight, because right now physically I feel great.
Yeah.
Right now physically I'm on point. Um, it just comes down to injuries. If I can stay injury free, then I'll fight till I'm 50. But if injuries happen, then I have to reevaluate this, and I gotta figure some stuff out because surgery sucks, man. Like I was talking to a doctor yesterday, and talking about like pain management of my shoulder, and I don't think he understood what I was getting at, but he's like, oh well, you're always gonna have pain. That's never gonna go away. You're always gonna have to deal with pain. And I was like, I understand that part of it. Like, so it's always gonna hurt, and to have another large joint in my body hurt for the rest of my life, that sucks. But
Something you're willing.
whatever. I love what I do. So hopefully I can keep doing this, for as long as possible.
It is possibly one of the fights I'm most looking forward to of this year. It goes down on November 19th, up there in Belfast. Ian McCall versus Neil Seery. Ian, one last one for you. Why should the fans tune into this, and what type of fight are we going to see? It's going to be a cracker, isn't it?
Well, oops. The fans should tune into this fight because it's Neil's last fight. Neil's a warrior, and I'm gonna send him out on his shield. You know, he's tough as a coffin nail, and he's come out and said this is his last fight, so he's got nothing to lose. I mean that's a dangerous man right there. A man with nothing to lose. That's a dangerous guy. So you're gonna see some excitement, and you're gonna see some high level mixed martial arts, and it's gonna be in Belfast. I'm excited to go back to Ireland. And granted, I was gonna vacation there a little bit after, but my girlfriend can't come, so I'll probably just come home right after. But yeah, I mean it's me. It's the second coming of Christ. It's me. I'm finally back. Just tune in. You're gonna see the beginning of the final chapter in my career. So tune in, watch me put on a good show, and I don't care who you root for. Root for Neo, root for me. Who gives a shit? Just tune in for some good fights.
It's going to be an absolute cracker, as Ian said there. The beginning of a new chapter for him and the end of a chapter for Neil Seery. I can't wait for it. Going to be an absolute corker. Ian, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. You can catch Ian on social networks at Uncle Creepy MMA. Ian, my good pal. It's going to be, geez, I don't know who, I'm going to get a lot of stick for this. I don't know who. It's going to be a hard one for me to watch on November 19th, knowing both the guys well. But Ian, listen, it's always a pleasure, my friend. I do appreciate the time.
Anytime, mate.